So today we're going to just have like a casual chat about the home buying process. We're going to stay pretty like surface level. We're not going to dive into any specifics for each person because that's going to change based on your situation. Usually you start with looking on Redfin, Zillow, so on, things like that to kind of look at photos. That's pretty much the only thing I would recommend you to do on Redfin and Zillow. Check out the photos, look at layouts, don't look at financials and things like that because a lot of them are not really real or realistic. When we get to a point of we want to really dive into the home buying search, your first main goal is to get that pre-approval, to kind of know where you're at, look at things that are not unicorn properties and they're right for you. And Andy here is going to talk a little bit more about that.
I'm Andy Smith with A&M Mortgage, and I'm a mortgage lender. And I'm actually a mortgage banker, so our company is a bank rather than a brokerage. So the money that you will lend from us is our money, and that means that everything we do in-house. So you'll be dealing directly with me as a mortgage banker throughout the process. So Chad mentioned pre-approval process. So credit, income, and assets are always the three words that I say when we think about a pre-approval. So credit being credit scores, income being your job or other types of income, social security, etc., and then assets, so that's going to be down payment, anything that you have in your bank account or retirement funds, or maybe proceeds if you have a property that you're selling. So then ways that we check that, obviously income, pay stubs, W-2s, tax returns. Assets will be obviously bank statements. And then credit score, we're actually going to do a credit check for you, and then we'll run a full report that we can also share with you. And then some of the things to hit on for that, so obviously credit scores, we're definitely looking for something north of 640, using FHA products possibly for those lower scores. And then obviously the higher we get, we can look at Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. And then other than that, obviously we're working with you as a borrower, and there's always a way to find financing. So for example, if you're self-employed or you have multiple income streams, there's always a way to find financing. So we get very creative, and we work together on that pre-approval process to make sure we find a way to get you into your home. So that's kind of the pre-approval process at a very high level.
So it's the fun part now. We actually get to do the home search. Usually before you kind of meet with the lender, if you meet me first, we kind of talked a little bit about the characteristics and things like that you want for your place. We probably set up a kind of maybe an automated search to kind of see some things that would work good for you. But the whole reason we're meeting with Andy is really honing in on that price point that makes sense for your monthly payments. And you don't want to change your lifestyle, obviously. You don't want to be house poor over it. So we kind of meet again. We're usually talking the whole time, but we meet again to really go over the things that you're willing to compromise on and get into that budget that makes sense for you. What I like to kind of compare it to is kind of a relationship. So, you know, if you're in a relationship and you're getting 75, 80% of the things you want and need, you're doing a pretty great job. So that's really kind of a good way to kind of look at houses. You're going to have some compromises usually, and that's going to be okay because you'll realize they're going to make sense for you in the long run. So my search process kind of starts with setting up on Zenlist. It's a program that I buy in to. It's agent invite only. And it is that reason because you're getting to see the private listings along with the public listings. So you're getting a leverage above a lot of buyers otherwise. So you're in a lot smaller pool of buyers that only have access to those. So you're getting in these places first. You're getting to kind of negotiate before they kind of get that chance to even see it come onto the market. And you see a lot of things that go under contract when they're private before they even go public at all. So that's a really great thing to start with. And then we kind of do an exploratory day. So that kind of gives you a time to check out some neighborhoods you're considering, check out some school districts if that's a super important thing for your kids in the future, and just some other things that kind of would be good for your lifestyle and seeing what area really does make sense for you. And then we kind of have a balance of those open houses, the private showings, we set those up, we dive into things, we really kind of hone in on the thing that's right for you. So to speed that up, we went searching, we looked at all these places, and we found the place that's yours. We negotiated a really great deal, and then we're under contract. So in those first 2 weeks of being under contract, you're going to do your home inspection, and then you're also going to go through your attorney review. We could dive more in on that one-on-one. We actually have a specific talk with your situation. But at this point, we're in underwriting. And then Andy's going to take over from this to kind of give you a better idea what underwriting means.
As Chad said, you've been through that process, you have met a lot of people, you've talked to a lot of people, everybody wants to talk to you, right? It's that crazy time. And then my kind of golden ticket is Chad's going to send me the purchase agreement, right? That everyone signed, and that means we're a go. So then I'm going to secure a lot of things and kind of firm up all those things that we already did through the pre-approval process. And it's really nice that you've already been through that. So when everything's going on and it's all crazy, you've already, kind of sent me pay stubs and, W-2s and all of those kinds of things. So we just have to firm up those numbers. and then I'm going to submit the file to underwriting. Now what that means, especially working with our company, we have an in-house underwriting team. So I'm going to put together a package basically to send to that underwriter, and I'm going to say, hey, this person's ready to buy a house. Here's all the information you need. Please review it. And as part of that information, we're going to ask for a home insurance quote.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cian Seibert. I'm with Goosehead Insurance. Now, why I'm going to be here today is basically because you're going to be purchasing or acquiring the largest asset that you've ever owned. So it's probably pretty smart to make sure that it's covered in the right way in those worst case scenarios or if something doesn't go right. So I am an independent broker, and when you get your insurance through that home purchase process, you're not going to put all your eggs in one basket, right? You're not going to go to one person. You're going to make sure you take a look at all the options and cross-reference those, see what you can get out there. So that's what I do. I shop through the entire market to make sure that we're referencing every single company out there, whether it's Allstate, Progressive, you name it. And then we also look at the regional and local companies as well to essentially see which of these private companies wants your business the most. So once we go through that process and you speak with me and we talk about your needs, maybe some specifics about certain things you own, maybe there's a big wedding ring coming into the mix at some point, something like that. But these are all kind of very specific things that are tailored to you and your home that need to have a discussion about and make sure that in that scenario that it's lost, it's going to be replaced and you're going to be able to get those things back. Now, once Andy gets his customers over to me, we're going to do a full discussion of all those different parameters that I just discussed. And I'm going to put all that information in. We're going to find you guys the best rate on the entire market of insurance carriers. And then year over year, after you've gone through this process, make sure that you're always with the best company because those things change over time. So once we've reviewed everything with the policy together, we've read through the documents so that you are fully aware of how those insurance policies work. I'm going to go ahead and get everything over on the back end for you. You're done from there for the insurance. We take care of that from there. We're getting the evidence of insurance, the invoice, everything that you've been told that you need. We're going to take care of that on our end so that Andy over here can go and close up the deal.
So obviously we've got all the documents together. We are, have everything in place, right? We've got the insurance, so we're ready for something called loan approval. So loan approval is basically like a final to-do list. So there's final few documents that we need to issue the clear to close. Once the clear to close comes, that's like, I call it like Willy Wonka's golden ticket, right? That's your golden ticket, you're ready to close your loan and you're ready to move in.
So like Andy said, that's your golden ticket. So that clear to close kind of just means you're able to go to the table, sign everything for long hours of time. No, just kidding. It's about an hour now. Sign your life away, and then obviously get your keys to your new place. So right before that moment happens, we have a final walkthrough. So this is the last time that you're going to be seeing the place after everything in the underwriting and all that's approved and you're under contract to see that what your place is going to look like when you move in. So we kind of check a lot of things during that process that it's good to have an agent to pay attention to those things too. Let's say it was too cold to check the air conditioning, so we need to check it now since it's maybe a little bit warmer to make sure that works. We need to check that the window pane that we wanted, that moisture was in it, got fixed. We want to make sure that the refrigerator is still there and didn't run away, right? So kind of all of those little things we get together, we make sure it's all there, and then usually happens the morning of the closing day or the night before, so we know it's going to be that way when you turn the key at your new place. So that's really the process at a high level. Obviously the situation's different for everyone, and we just wanted to kind of give you a general idea of what it looks like.